We've shown you the need, 3.4 billion people without access to the gospel. We've shared the plan, call, connect, care. We've asked the personal question, am I called? And now, as we close this introduction series, we have one more question for you. What's holding you back? Because for most people, it's not rejection, it's hesitation. It's not rebellion, it's resistance. So today, we're going to look at what actually stops people from going and invite you to take your first step. Let's be real. These barriers, they aren't surface level excuses. They're honest questions, honest fears. So let's talk about them. Number one, I'm not spiritual enough. You might be thinking, I'm not holy enough. I don't know enough scripture. I'm still figuring out my faith, and I get it. But Acts chapter 4, verse 13 says that the religious leaders were astonished by Peter and John, not because they were experts, but because they were unschooled, ordinary men who had simply been with Jesus. God doesn't need a spiritual resume. He needs a surrendered heart. Number two, I don't want to move overseas. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to start there. Acts 1:8 lays out the mission. You start in your hometown, your own community, and you spread outward. You can live on mission right where you are and let God grow your influence from there. But if He does call you further, will you be ready? The third barrier for us is if I go, I'll lose everything. You might be afraid of losing comfort and security, your career, your plans, your money. And Jesus understands that fear, and He addresses it head on. In Mark 10:29-30, He said, "No one who gives up anything for the gospel will fail to receive 100 times as much now and in the age to come." Obedience may cost you something, but it never comes back empty. Number 4 is that I need to wait until I'm older or more prepared to go. Waiting can sound wise, but sometimes waiting is just fear dressed up as wisdom. 1 Timothy 4:12 says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young." In Ecclesiastes 11:4, it says, "If you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never plant." God doesn't call the future version of you. He calls the present one. Finally, I just don't feel called. And this one can sound humble, but it might be the most dangerous because Jesus already gave us the call. Matthew 28, go and make disciples of all nations. Romans 10 says, how can they believe unless someone is sent? You don't need a voice when you've already been given a verse. So what's really holding us back? What's underneath all of it? Let's name it. It's fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being enough, fear of what you might lose. But here's the truth. If fear is writing your story, faith isn't. You don't need the whole map. You probably won't get one. You just need to say yes to the next steps that Jesus calls you to take. Every missionary I know had doubts. Every one of them wondered if they were ready. And every one of them watched God meet them in their obedience. So this is it. The turning point. We've talked through the need. We've explained the plan. We've wrestled with the call. We've exposed the fears. And now we're asking, what's your move? This may be the final video of the series, but for you, it might be the beginning of a new conversation with God. The beginning of praying differently. The beginning of finally saying, I'm open. Not ready, not fearless, just open. Because God can work with open. So if that's where you're at, write it below. Literally in the comments, I'm open. Let that be your response, not to me, but to Him. Maybe your next step is joining the Discord. Maybe it's praying for a people group. Maybe it's subscribing to this channel and walking with us week after week. Whatever it is, don't wait for perfect. God isn't looking for polished. He's looking for willing. Let's build the bridge. Let's carry the flame. Let's go.